What if I make a humiliating mistake when trying to speak Spanish? What if the grammar is all over the place? What if they can't even understand me? No. I'm not really an outgoing person in my own language, so this foreign language thing, I'm not confident. Honey, if you're coming at me with those excuses, you need to understand that you are talking to a world-class introvert. You are talking to a girl who panics when her phone rings. You're talking to a girl who goes to the store, can't find the whole wheat flour, and wonders, should I ask? She looks really busy. There are so many ways this conversation could go south. If I can do this foreign language thing, so can you. Let's talk about confidence. What's up, language leaders? Welcome back to the channel. My name is Erica. I'm a Spanish interpreter, translator, language teacher, turned language coach, and most importantly, a language learner myself. My mission is to help you love, learn, and live a new language. So if that is your mission as well, be sure to subscribe and hit that notification bell. I post language learning tips or Spanish comprehensible input every single week. All right, guys, there's this thing in psychology called the confidence-competence loop. We know that when we feel confident to do something, well, we're more successful. We're going for it. We're taking action. We feel confident to take that action because we feel like we have an ability to do that skill. Well, how did we get confident in the first place? Well, it all started with competence. The more skilled we become in a certain area, the more confident that we become that we can perform. But how do we build that competence when we lack the confidence to even get going? I've gone through this, I go through this, my students go through this, and so I really want to give you some actionable tips to help to build your confidence to speak a foreign language. But before we get going, I want to give you something for free. It's my Framework to Fluency guide. You can download that in the first link below. It's going to be a series of steps to give you an overview of what you need to do to go from zero to fluent in your target language. And you'll notice that there are several things that you can do to build your confidence before you even begin that conversational stage, that when you're really having exchanges. One of the things that I want you to think about is what is something that you can do now on autopilot. It's so easy for you now, but it used to be really difficult. You may have to go way back and think about learning to drive, okay? Learning to ride a bike, learning the skills that were required, the ins and outs of the job that you currently possess, okay? Think about how you felt on your first day. How did your first day driving go, if you can remember that? I remember mine. It wasn't great. Maybe the second time gets a little better because now you at least got a feel for the steering wheel. Your foot has kind of learned where the brake and where the gas pedal is. So your competence has grown by a tiny bit and your confidence has grown by a tiny bit. You start to get a feel for when you need to start turning your wheel in order to successfully make this kind of turn and that kind of turn. Your competence grows a little more, your confidence grows a little more. Now you're learning how to stay in your lane, okay? You were swerving a little bit at first, but you're getting the hang of it. You're learning how to stay in your lane, a little bit more competent, a little bit more confident. And at this point in your life, you can get in the car, put on your seatbelt, drive somewhere where you go all the time on autopilot and not even remember the steps that you took to get there. You're not thinking about, okay, now I need to put in the key, I need to turn it like this, I need to put the car in drive, you probably don't even realize how you got to work that day. It is just so automatic. Your past experiences will show you that you are completely capable of learning complex skills and learning to do them well. But we all start shakily. We all start with some fear. What we have to do is do it anyway, okay? We have to take action in spite of the fear. Know that your success is inevitable if you keep showing up. My second tip is to look to others for inspiration. When you haven't yet accomplished the thing that you want to accomplish, it is great to use other people as examples for your inspiration. Just be careful not to compare your journey with theirs. Since we're all individuals, we learn in different ways, and we're all learning for different reasons. One person's journey is never going to be exactly the same as another. However, it is wonderful to get inspired by people who have done what we want to do. If you are afraid that you can't learn a language because you're older, look at Steve Kaufman. He's been learning languages for 55 years, yet he's learned most of them past the age of 50 or 60. And while the number of languages that he speaks is incredible, the fact that he's learned languages later in life is far from an isolated case. Find inspiration in those who have done what you want to accomplish. 3, understand your personal strengths and weaknesses, as well as your preferences. While it's true that we do need to speak before we feel ready, because most of us aren't really ever going to feel ready, we also don't have to take the approach of going out and talking to native speakers on the first day. It's not necessary. That's something that some people love to do. Good for them. I can't do that. Many other people cannot do that. If lack of confidence is a big thing for you, start with the least intimidating way of speaking. Okay? Start by talking to yourself. Have conversations with yourself. Maybe practice in front of a mirror, which is honestly, although it sounds funny, a bit more intimidating than talking to yourself without a mirror. Then progress to leaving perhaps pre-recorded messages for a friend or on an app like HelloTalk and the like. When you start having conversations, see if you can control the environment a little bit. Maybe start speaking with a tutor who you trust, who you feel comfortable with, before you progress to speaking in other situations that are a little more unpredictable. It is completely fine to work your way up. You'll get a little more competent and a little more confident, a little more competent and a little more confident. There is no shame in building up to where you want to be. There is only shame in not starting at all. My next tip would be, especially if you're in the beginning stages of learning a language, focus on your pronunciation. This is the prime time to learn good pronunciation. Do you need to sound like a native speaker? No, you do not. That is not necessary. But working on your pronunciation actively from the beginning is going to allow you to speak in a way that makes you sound more confident, even if you aren't. It's going to change the way that native speakers interact with you, and that's going to grow your confidence even further. Now, if you're not in the beginning stages of learning a language, it's never too late to go back and try to improve your pronunciation. It's going to be harder. I'm not going to lie. It's almost like starting from the beginning in certain aspects of the language. But if that's something that you still want to work on, go for it. Do it. It's going to take work, but it's going to increase your confidence when speaking. If your lack of confidence has more to do with not understanding what the other person is going to say back to you, just go ahead and prepare for that. Prepare some things that you can say. Use your personality. If in English you would say, "What do you mean? What are you talking about? So are you saying this? No, I didn't quite get that." However you would speak in English, try to find the equivalence of that in your target language and loosen up a little bit. You're not on stage unless you are. Loosen up, stop trying to perform, let that person who you're speaking to help you. And if it's a person who doesn't want to help you, not interested in helping you, not interested in the fact that you're trying to learn their language, you might need to let go of that negative energy and move on to someone else. When you're listening to someone speak back to you, don't focus on all the things that you cannot understand, because you will get so overwhelmed. Focus on key phrases and words that you pick up. You'll be surprised. Often you can follow along with the conversation, even if you're only understanding a small percent of what is being said. Now, this is something that you can and should practice on your own as well during your personal study time when you're working on your listening. We talked a bit in my last video about how to make incomprehensible input comprehensible. So I definitely suggest you go check that one out right after this one. Don't forget to grab your free Framework to Fluency guide here in the description box below. Like this video if you like it, subscribe, share with a friend, all of those things. Let's grow this community. I love you guys. You guys are amazing. I love talking to you all. If you have or are struggling with confidence in your language learning process, leave us a comment below and let us know your story. Together we can help each other out. But above all, guys, go out and hold on. Make things happen. Can you guys see that? I love this journal. I see it every day and it helps me. It helps me to remember that you just got to go out and make things happen. Nothing's going to change. Your confidence is not going to grow if you don't go out and start. You'll get more competent, you'll get more confident, and eventually you'll be speaking your target language on autopilot. Your success is inevitable if you keep showing up. I'll see you next time, guys. In these really meaningful conversations. I forgot what I'm talking about. What? Before you even, what am I saying?